Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out this episode of Really Dicey. I'm here with Vander, and today we're going to talk about draconic subclasses, particularly the Way of the Ascendant Dragon, a subclass for monks.
It feels very combat oriented for this type of monk for the most part, which I guess if you're basing it off of a lot of dragons, not all of them, but most of them are fairly combative, specifically the chromatic ones, which I guess this is what we kind of said. Like seemed like it was a little more based off of the chromatic more than the metallic, but who knows? But Wave of the Sun and Dragon seems like it could be have a lot of fun options. The origins, specifically in the beginning, I love just because I like the idea. I like anything that gives your players a hint of how to have the ball start rolling in case they don't already have an idea themselves, and like they give a suggestion of having a dream or potentially finding a scroll. But I like the idea of a dragon personally taking an active role in shaping your inner energy. I really love the idea of someone like, you're gonna be my tool, or I just really want to see what you're going to do to the world. And that's you're a chosen one, but it's a dragon. It could have multiple chosen ones. They're just like, let's sprinkle a little warlocky and patron on this part and see what happens here.
Most of the abilities that you can get as you level up tends to, like you said, manipulate some of the chromatic dragon's abilities. Um, But what really stood out to me, my favorite one so far, is Wings Unfurled, which you get at 6th level. You pretty much grow draconic wings up on your back, and they don't. It's not permanent. It goes away for a while. But what I like about it is the role play aspect to it. You're running away from some bandits, and there's a cliff in front of you, and you could do this really cool thing. We just jump off, and you have these wings that appear, and you make your escape. So that I like a lot. Ascendant aspect, which you get much later as 17th level, it's pretty cool, pretty powerful. The fact that you could just explode with this whichever energy you want to use and do about a 40-10 damage to anyone in your area. You could choose who gets the damage. Pretty cool effect. I could see that in a role playing sort of way that it could be a really cool thing to see and to describe.
And I agree with the ascendant aspects bit. Monks aren't always like the big damage dealers. They do a lot of like that. A monk does a lot of hits, and like eventually they get big damage. But 40-10 still isn't bad. I was a big fan of the draconic disciple part. The basically your first third level feature that you get. So when you do unarmed strike, you can now choose between different elemental damages, which is acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison, to do instead of bludgeoning, which I think increases your versatility a lot. And like roleplay wise, that gives you a lot to work with. So like if your hand is releasing fire, like maybe you could use that in roleplay aspects too. And they gave you a little bit of extra charisma capabilities. So they basically gave you an ability in that feature that lets you get a little better at potentially manipulating conversations, similar to dragons, who are very persuasive beasts. I was not a big fan of the breath of the dragon at third level, just because there's dragon breath as a spell, which is good. Dragonborn already have a really good dragon breath. This just didn't seem to do as much or as well. But you're getting two features at third level, so I guess both together make it pretty good.
So this is from Unearthed Arcana, and so they're still playtesting, letting people playtest this and seeing what works and what doesn't work. For me, the only thing that, in my opinion, doesn't work. So Monk in 5th edition is very much Asian inspired, and Way of the Ascendant Dragon is definitely sounds very inspired by Asian mythology or martial arts. So I wish instead of using the chromatic dragons, maybe they would have focused more on Asian dragons, because they're, if you know your dragons, the way Europe uses dragons in their mythology and the way Asia uses dragons is not the same thing. Dragons are seen as symbols of good luck, for example. So I wish there was some more of that and just about power in this subclass. I wish there was a. I mean, yeah, you could. And at some points, you could do some intimidation stuff. You could manipulate that a little bit. But I wish there was this more. It was a little more different.
Yeah, our favorite parts were the stuff that was more role play interesting than, purely combative. Like, again, like Wings Unfurled. Like, I know you like it. I personally don't. For me, if I'm using a key point for something, or I have the option of using a key point for something, it's only lasting one turn. Like, bugs me a lot. Like that it's only lasting one turn. Like, make it last proficiency bonus number of rounds or something. Like, just a little more would have been nice. But the roleplay aspect of being like, I need to jump this one giant chasm and Wings Unfurled, like, it's both roleplay and like exploratory interesting, but it's not like competitively. Like, it might save you once, but it's probably not going to be your big bad thing to whip out ever. In addition, I do agree with you on using more of the Asian aspects of dragons. Like, as much as I love chromatic and metallic, I mean, there's also mineral gem dragons, which would have been even also interesting to like bring back, or any of the weird like abyssal, crazy demonic dragons and stuff like that. But like having a whole separate culture besides European dragons to bring in would have been really unique, and they could have brought in uh, DMs with that style or with that knowledge that could have helped out with that, and I would have loved to have seen that.
Our viewers, have you taken a look at this? I'll put a link in the description. Let us know what you think. What did you like? What you didn't like about this subclass? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Support us, and have a good day.